ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 13, Brahma stealing the boys and calves, text 28. So please repeat after me. Ekada Charayan Vatsan Saramaha Vanam Avishat Panchapashu. Sorry, what is it? I'm not able to see. You're showing here. Panchashasu Triyamasu Hayanam Apuranishu Ajaha Ekada Charayan Vatsan Saramo Vanamavishat Panchashasutriyamasu Ayana Puranishvajaha Ekada Charayan Vatsan Saramo Vanamavishat Panchashasutriyamasu Ayana Puranishvajaha Ekada Charayan Vatsan Saramo Vanamavishat Panchashasutriyamasu Ayana Puranishvajaha Ekada Charayan Vatsan Avishat Saramo Vanamavishat Panchashasutriyamasu Ayana Puranishvajaha Ekada Charayan Vatsan Saramo Vanamavishat Panchashasutriyamasu Ayana Puranishvajaha Ekada Charayan Vatsan Saramo Vanamavishat Panchashasutriyamasu Ayana Puranishvajaha. One else. Try. Ekada Charayan Vatsan Saramo Vanamavishat Panchashasu, not Sha. It's Panchashasu, not Shashu. Panchashasu. Repeat the line. Shasu. Panchashasu Triyamasu Hayana Hayana Puranishvajah. Matajis. Ekada Charayan Vatsan Saramo Vanamavishat Panchashasu Triyamasu Ayana Puranishvajah. Ekada, one day, Charayan Vatsan, while taking care of all the calves, Saramaha, along with Balarama, Vanam, within the forest, Avishat, entered, Panchashasu, 5 or 6, Triyamasu, nights, Hayana, a whole year, Apuranishu, not being fulfilled, 5 or 6 days before the completion of 1 year. Ajaha, Lord Sri Krishna. Translation unpurported by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: one day, 5 or 6 nights before the completion of the year, Krishna, tending the calves, entered the forest along with Balarama. Purport: up to this time, even Balarama was captivated by the bewilderment that covered Brahma. Even Balarama did not know that all the calves and cowherd boys were expansions of Krishna, or that he himself was also an expansion of Krishna. This was disclosed to Balarama just 5 or 6 days before the completion of the year. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikas Swaminiti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are continuing to hear the bewildering pastime of Krishna, by which even Brahma, who is the topmost person in the entire material creation, with all his foreheads, could not perceive or understand what's happening here. And in the few verses before this, we were just hearing yet another amazing reciprocation of Krishna with his devotees, how he could very uniquely express the feelings that the devotees are hankering for from Krishna. And the most unique thing is that he could act in a way not showing himself as Krishna, but as the sons of the gopis, which is again bewildering for anyone else, but again it was bewildering for them also, but it was increasing their affection towards their own son. Something amazing. Who can think of it? Who can act like that? Of course, Krishna's performing this action is not some kind of a, he is not pretending, he is really expressing his love to his devotees. Not that Krishna pretends, but it's the exchange of love that Krishna has for his devotees. So now this pastime is going on, it's close to a year this is happening. Now, in today's verse, Shukadeva Goswami is mentioning the point that Ekada Charayan Vatsan. Charayan Vatsan means Krishna, while taking care of the calves, one day, what he did, Ekada, one day, Sarama Vanam Avishat, along with Lord Balarama. So Avishat means he entered the forest of Vrindavan. So when this happened, that Shukadeva Goswami is mentioning, Panchashasu Triyamasu. So just 5 or 6 days before the completion of the year. So in the next line it is mentioned Apuranishu. Puranishu means it is not completed. What is not completed? That year is not completed. So Panchashasu, 5 or 6 days before is being mentioned. Or 5 or 6 nights, exactly the translation goes. Now Acharya's comment on this point, why Shukadeva Goswami is not specific. It could either be 5 days or 6 days, he could have said. Then they're making the point that Shukadeva Goswami was in great prema, he was in great love. He's not able to exactly tell 5 or 6 days. Out of ecstasy, he's saying maybe 5 or 6 days before a year. So this is the point that's being mentioned. That's how Shukadeva Goswami is presenting it. So, and Krishna here is specifically also being addressed as Ajaha. We will see that. We'll come to that. And what's happening here? It's again another, like we are saying that we were hearing how Krishna could do multifarious activities in one Leela, in one pastime. He could accomplish so many different tasks. Krishna can do that because he is the Supreme Lord. And for his pleasure he can perform any kind of activity. Now in this particular verse, the pastime is unfolding. It's again another amazing thing that we could see. Balaram's position is very unique. And the word Rama means who gives pleasure. Acharyas translate. One of the translation is that one who gives pleasure to Krishna, one who gives pleasure to the Gopas, to all his friends. Balarama always gives pleasure. Now, even that Balarama, Srila Prabhupada points out in the purport, at the beginning of the purport, up to this time, even Balarama was captivated by the bewilderment that covered Brahma. So Brahma was bewildered, even Balarama was bewildered. Balarama did not know that actually it is Krishna who is performing all these activities. Well, there is a reason for that. Krishna wanted to keep it as a secret so that he could relish the pastime, so that he wants to keep it as a surprise even for Balaram. So, by his Yogamaya potency, even Balaram was covered. That we will see in the upcoming verses, where Balaram, he was allowed at a particular, as 5 or 6 days back, Balaram started thinking, hey man, what's going on here? He was just watching. The calves, the newborn calves are there. The cows which are old, which are quite more grown up. But what is this? The mothers, the cows are showing, still they want to, if you go to the Goshala, you can see the newborn calves. Naturally the mother is very affectionate. It wants to feed the newborn calves. But then the elderly calves, or those calves which are a little grown up, the cows wanted to feed them, mothers want to feed them also. Balaram is watching what's going on here. This is something strange. Something unusual is happening here. So, but till that 5 or 6 days back, he did not know. Even he was covered. Krishna didn't. For this various reason, Krishna was not allowing him to know that. So that's what Prabhupada is mentioning here. Even Balarama did not know that all the calves and cowherd boys were expansions of Krishna, or that he himself was also an expansion of Krishna. That means what? He was put into Yogamaya. Although Balaram cannot be bewildered. But again, we have to understand the role of Balaram. He's called as, Krishna is called as what? Generally we call Krishna, Krishna's unique position is a supreme personality of Godhead. But again, Prabhupada defines Balaram as the supreme personality of Sarvaitra Godhead. So he is ready to do any service for Krishna. Hmm? If that is going to give pleasure to Krishna, my bewilderment is going to give pleasure to Krishna, I'm fine with that. No problem. Otherwise, he's not going to be bewildered at all. No way Balaram can be bewildered. But for Krishna's pleasure, Krishna wants the thrill in the pastime. So he is making some arrangements like that. But then again, 5 or 6 days before, Krishna wanted to reveal it to Balaram. Before Brahma is going to come there on the scene, Krishna thought that today let me reveal to Krishna that actually it is me who is everywhere. So that's why then, so till the time Balaram was contemplating, but it came to a, what to say, optimal level where Balaram now is saying, oh no man, this is something, let me check with Krishna what's happening. And we will see that in 37th verse, as after 6 verses you will see how Balaram was thinking. Maybe, this, usually I am not bewildered. What is this happening? Maybe Kamsa had sent someone. Something strange is happening here because already Vatsasura came, Putana came, everybody disguised. And is there anything happening? Balaram was thinking like that. And then he said, even that could happen, but I will not be bewildered. How is that I could be bewildered? I cannot be bewildered. But then it's going to be, it is actually an activity of my Lord. My worshipable Lord has done this. Because Krishna allowed that Yogamaya to reveal him that. He allowed the covering to be removed. So Balaram could understand after that. And then Balaram asked this question, Krishna acknowledges it, yes. And also, Krishna revealed it to Balaram because Balaram is very intimate to Krishna. So, because of the sneha, the great love Krishna has for Balaram, he is revealing that. So, that's another thing. So, that's what here Srila Jiva Goswami is pointing out in his commentary. Out of great affection, Krishna wanted to enlighten him about the truth of the pastime. Otherwise, when Brahma came after a year, by hiding the truth from Balaram, he could not experience complete joy. So, this is the point. So, by revealing it to Balaram, then it is again even more. See, now Brahma is going to come. See, let's see what's going to happen. Brahma is going to come and then see. So, Krishna till the time, he kept it as a secret. Now, another interesting word in this verse is that ajaha is being used. So, this is also another fascinating point is that all this, one may say that Krishna is the son of all these gopis. But how do you say someone is someone's son? So and so is born to someone, right? So, but in this case, even if DNA test is done, you can't figure out. It's Krishna is amazing. There is no need for Krishna to be born like an ordinary person. He was not born to the gopis like any ordinary child is born. So, Shukadeva Goswami is pointing out in this verse, what is that? Ajaha. The Lord who is unborn, he has become the son of these gopis and the gopas. So the gopis, sorry. So it was so bewildering. And this is the Supreme Lord. And so here we can understand that who can understand Krishna? Nobody can understand Krishna. Unless he reveals himself, no one can understand him. That is the unique position of the Lord. So that is why the subject matter about Krishna and his various activities should be dealt very carefully, should be heard from authorized sources. In the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada says that what is the greatest offense? I mean, there are so many offenses. Offense to the Vaishnavas is the greatest offense. He specifically writes that what is the greatest offense? In that context, he says that the greatest offense is to misinterpret Bhagavad Gita, he says, by scrupulous scholars or anyone for that matter who gives wrong message about the Bhagavad Gita. Why it's like that? Because they completely twist the mission of Lord Krishna. What the Lord wants to present. The Lord presents the Bhagavad Gita to save the conditioned souls, and by hearing the Bhagavad Gita, the conditioned souls can develop love for the Lord. They can come back to their constitutional position as eternal servant of the Lord. But then misinterpreting Bhagavad Gita, diverting the attention of the conditioned souls, completely makes them to lose the opportunity to revive their eternal relationship with the Lord. So it's the greatest offense, Srila Prabhupada says. So the point is that how much ever you may speculate, you may try to analyze, you may do so much research, you can't understand Krishna. No way. So Brahma himself in his prayers is acknowledging it. Atapi te deva padam gujadvaya prasada lesanu grihita evahi janati tatvam bhagavan mahimno ekopyachan chirang vichinvan. Right? Brahma says that Athapi te deva padam gujadvaya prasadu lesa. My dear Lord, your glories of about yourself. There's a great realization. He says that no one can understand your glories. No one can, without getting the mercy from you. Only the person who has surrendered to you, and by surrender, he can get your mercy. Only such person, by your mercy, can understand something about you. Not otherwise. Vichinvan, this word Vichinvan means searching. I will now study the Vedas, I will study the Vedanta Sutras, I will do analysis by my own power, I will try to. No way, no one, it's not possible at all. By your mental speculation, birth after birth, you may continue to speculate. We cannot understand the glory of the Supreme Lord. And then also again, in Brahma's prayers, in the upcoming prayers, you will see beautiful words. He says that somebody may say, I know Krishna, I know Krishna. Somebody may say that I understood about Krishna. Jananto eva jananto. So he says that it's, as far as I am concerned, no way I can understand about you, my dear Lord. No, with my body, mind and words, whatever I may try to, unless, the point is that unless one surrenders to Krishna, this whole point of surrendering to the Lord through the pure devotees, it is impossible to understand about Krishna. And we have to remember that, we are very tiny souls, tiny jivas. This point is again and again we repeat, because again and again we are bewildered in this material world. Maya is so powerful. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat, in the section when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will have a debate with Digvijay Pandit, what is his name? Keshav Kashmiri. So Keshav Kashmiri, he was very much empowered by Mother Saraswati. No one can defeat him. He's a great scholar. So he will be, when he was defeated, that day night he couldn't sleep. How is it possible? What's going on? How is it possible that I am defeated by someone, by this Nimai Pandit? So when he was thinking like that, in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, there is a beautiful verse which explains that what is it that so much bewildering, that this Brahmana was bewildered. How do we understand? What is it so much to think about? So then, who is the author of Chaitanya Bhagavat? Vrindavan Das Thakur, he makes a point, he nicely points out that there is nothing to be surprised. Even big, the great stalwarts are bewildered. So, there is nothing surprising that this Brahmana was bewildered. So he says that Brahma was bewildered. With all his foreheads, with all his intelligence, he could not understand. He says that Ananta, then this is the point he says, even Ananta, with thousands and thousands of mouths, he could not complete the glorification of the Supreme Lord. He is still continuing to glorify, because he cannot come to the end of his glories. Then he says that Shiva got bewildered. All the great demigods got bewildered. So is it anything surprising that you got bewildered? So that was very interesting. So he makes the point that all the great personalities are bewildered. And then one tiny jiva, he challenges, so-called scientist. I will now challenge about the creation. I will now give an explanation for the creation. I will now give an explanation about how the world needs to be fixed up. Just a mockery, just people just laugh. So that's the whole point. And in the Lord Brahma himself, he is acknowledging it. He is just saying that in the scheduled incarnations, in the second canto of the Bhagavatam, in that section, Brahma is pointing out that, very nicely he is saying that Nantam vidamyaham ami munayo agrajaste maya bhalasya purushasya kuto varaye. Gayan Gunan Dasha Shatanana Adi Devaha Shesho Dunapi Samavasyati Na Asya Param. So he explains that Nantam Vidamyaham. Myself, I have not understood about the Supreme Lord, about his various glorious activities. Or other munis who were born from me, they also could not understand about him. So those who have come before you, Agrajaste, those who have come before you, they cannot understand. Maya Bhalasya Purushasya, what they cannot understand? Maya Bhalasya Purushasya Kutovaraye. So his opulences, his prowess, no one could understand. It's not possible. Even what to say, Gayan Gunan Dasha Shatanana. Who is this Dasha Shatanana? The Lord who expands himself as Ananta. He is actually glorifying. He could not complete the glorification, he says. So that is the glory of the Supreme Lord. So also it establishes that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. He is the Avatari. There can be no doubt about it. So actually there is no difference between Balarama and Krishna. But if the Lord requires Balaram, of course Balaram's constitutional position is a servant of the Supreme Personality of God. He is the topmost servant. So the Lord, he becomes happily bewildered by the Lord for his pleasure. So here Brahma is making the point that even this Brahma, even this Balaram, he could not complete describing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the unique position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the Lord has got multifarious potencies. He has got his Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti, various expansions. And all these potencies, can we calculate? Can we put some mathematical calculation? Not possible. He says, Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he points out that it is not possible to calculate the potencies of the Lord. It is beyond the calculation of anyone. Yeah, nobody can estimate these potencies. So that's the whole point here. So with what we can do is, with the folded hands, bow down to the lotus feet of the Lord and beg for his mercy. And when we just glorify the great personalities, oh, Balaram, Brahma, Shiva, even the demigods, you know that famous incident, no, in the Kena Upanishad, it is mentioned about how the different demigods wanted to go. Indra once he said that, you see, this someone is waiting outside. He says he's very powerful. We can go and then check it out. So all the different demigods, they come with their, the Agni comes, Vayu comes, Varuna comes. Everybody with their prowess, they're trying to test out a person who has come, who says that, that you can't challenge me. So they were trying to challenge him, but they were defeated in their challenge in trying to move the dharma grass or whatever that he was having. But then later it was revealed to them, actually the Supreme Person of God, he himself came to show that everyone is subservient to him. Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabhabhritya. Everyone is his servant. Everyone else is dancing according to the tunes of the Lord. So Mayar Jacha Barshe Kachu Habu Dububai. If we do not dance to the tunes of the Lord, then we will dance to the tunes of Maya. That's the whole point. But then it's so bewildering, we forget about it. We forget. So really, by the association of devotees and constantly hearing from Bhagavatam and from the pure devotees, and when we see in the lives of many great acharyas how they have undergone various sufferings, it appears sometimes that the acharyas are bewildered. No, they are not bewildered. Sometimes they get into such kind of situations to show that how they responded in those various situations. In the testing situations, how they respond. So it's a lesson for us how, when Maya gives us a test, we are constantly being clouded by the illusory potency of the Lord here. So all the time we are being tested. So that we have to take a conscious call. So am I going to give myself to Maya, or I'm going to give myself to Krishna? But it is so subtle and so powerful that we cannot even think. When we are completely in the glue of the three modes of nature, it's very difficult for us to even think. That's why we need devotees are very merciful. They come and then shake us up. They come and then help us out that you are in Maya. So that's that lecture, remember when Maharaj said that don't hear the inner voice. Your inner voice says something else. Everything is fine, you're good, you're doing good. Well, what is this? Nobody is able to understand your prowess. You're so talented, you're so capable. Don't hear this inner voice. Whenever you hear such kind of voice, it's a voice of Maya. Better you hear the voice of your spiritual master. Wake up early in the morning, chant your rounds. Careful to follow the rules and regulations that are required for us to keep us steady in the platform of pure devotional service. We get diverted, we get sidetracked, we may get fried for something, but then there is no choice. We don't have any other choice other than surrendering to Krishna and Guru. That we need to constantly remember. But to remember this is very difficult. That's why we need to take shelter of devotees who are surrendered, devotees who are going steady in that path. They will be able to immediately see things in right perspective. They can see that we are in Maya. They can see that, we are going on a tangential direction. It appears that we are Krishna conscious, but when you draw a tangent, you remember when you put a circle, when you draw a tangent, one point it's in line, right? That particular point where the tangent is drawn. But then after that, the tangent goes in different direction. The line goes. At that point, it was there. It was with the border of the circle, but then the tangent moves away. Then after that, you see, when we join the movement, we had good desires. I want to serve Krishna, I want to serve devotees, I always want to remain humble. But then after some time, where am I? Hey, what happened? It's Maya, so powerful. Doesn't matter. Don't think that it will only happen to only those devotees who joined just 1 or 2 years back. After 20 years also we can just miserably fall down. Anything can happen. So that shows that Krishna consciousness is a very powerful scientific process. The system, the process works. So that's why when we hear somebody, so and so devotee fell down, so and so, something happened to him. So it shows that, you don't take the science of Krishna consciousness seriously, then safe boat. So that's why it's an amazing class. We can never forget this class. His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj gave years back in Mayapur. He raised this question in the class. He says that, sir, can you just say how many of them who strictly followed the regulative principles, who followed the 4 regulative principles, who followed the codex of the process of sadhana bhakti, how many of them fell down? Can you just put in numbers? It can never happen. But those who were following very strictly, and then after some time, who took the Krishna consciousness process very lightly, now I know, I'm a little bit above the 3 modes. Already we are bewildered. I know, I don't have to take up this program, that program seriously. I know. That's all. We are caught up. Then gradually, everything becomes diluted. So that's a nice point for us to meditate. Anybody who follows the rules and regulations and the principles of bhakti seriously, that is the shelter we have. Prabhupada has given us that shelter. Prabhupada has given us the holy name. Prabhupada has given us the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada has given us the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada has given us the books. Prabhupada has given us the service. Prabhupada has given us the institution. Prabhupada has given us the time, how we should engage it in Krishna's service. All these things Srila Prabhupada has given us so that we will not be carried away by Maya. Maharaj was hearing one class very nicely. He's pointing out that there are so many things by which we can get absorbed. But we get entangled into so many unnecessary things. We get carried away by women, we get carried away by power, we get carried away by fame, glory, so many things. But so much we can get absorbed that we don't have time to think about other nonsense. So when we are in the Kanishta stage, that's why that we have to understand that we are Kanishtas, and then there are so many things which can bewilder us. That's why otherwise there is no need to tell all these things. Be careful with the smartphone, be careful with the billboards, be careful with the laptops, be careful with this and that and this and that. So many don'ts. We have to speak about this because we are bewildered. But for a devotee who is on a very high stage, all these things are not going to bother him at all. But for us, we need to be careful. As long as we have taste to enjoy the senses, the sense gratification taste is there, we need to be careful. That we ourselves we know. No need someone else, no need for others to come and give us a certificate and say that, hey, don't think that you are advanced. We ourselves know, right? There is no interest, My mind is going, okay, this is my situation. I am overflowing with material desires. But nevertheless, there is a hope because Acharyas have given this process. Srila Prabhupada has given this process. And my Guru and all the devotees are saying that this process is a time-tested process. It works. The holy name works. The prasadam works. The Krishna Katha works. So we don't have to really bother about that. I am not working. I have to work. I have to do something. So we have to preach to us. And then that way we can really be absorbed in Krishna's service. So I'll stop here. We also have a meeting now. So if there is any question or comment, maybe you can take one before we wind up. You have 2-3 minutes. Yes. So I got the question. So we sometimes devotee gives and then just to put us in proper path, and then the devotee who is supposed to take up the service with enthusiasm becomes more bewildered, and then so this is actually we are in Maya. It's very simple, we don't have to, our teacher or our father or our guru, they don't have to always tell pleasing words. So this is a prerequisite for a disciple or a student, that you should be ready to be chastised, and you should understand that this is actually mercy flowing for me. And sometimes there could be more explanation given. Some things could be told soft, but a devotee, a disciple or a student should not think that. You should be ready to hear chastisement. You should be ready to, his mood should be, like there is a verse in the Bhagavatam, probably in the 3rd canto, I think. We may say that, oh, that's a very high level Prabhu, but that is what is expected by the student. Brahma says that, yes, sir. When the Guru gives an advice, a disciple should say, yes, sir. Well, it's easy to say, but that is what the disciple is expected to raise to the situation. So, but then that kind of an attitude will build up more and more in a devotee when he regularly hears, regularly serves, regularly understands. So that is why so much stress is given for advancement in Krishna consciousness. Depends on the attitude of the follower. The attitude, that service attitude, that attitude to obey, ready to hear, ready to mold, that will, even if you have so many materials, it doesn't matter. If that attitude to serve is there, then that will take us forward. So, this could be discussed more. This should be the principle we should understand. If we are rebellious, we should understand that this is our craziness, and then we should pray to the Lord, let me become humble, and let me try to serve the devotees and my spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada. In that way, I can come from bewilderment, the bewilderment which I am undergoing for millions and millions of years in millions and millions of bodies undergoing various species. Let me give this one life to Krishna. In whatever ashrama I may be a brahmachari or a grahastha or vanaprastha or sannyasi. This life I will give to Krishna and try to please the parampara. So we'll stop here and we'll go for the meeting. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam.